Don't come at me because I still have my tree up. I put it up so late, you're gonna see it for a couple more videos before I put all of that away. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new year. It's 2025. Wow. And as of end of January, it's gonna be one whole year of me being consistent on here on this platform on YouTube. And I'm so happy and I can't wait for that anniversary to come and go. And hopefully with me being still consistent, bringing you even more new content. I'm so glad that I've almost made it a whole year. And looking back on December, I definitely know that I need to have a bit more structure going forward, because I just assumed I would do as everybody else does and have all the content in December, but then I noticed, wait a second, I work retail in December. So nothing really happened besides my TBR video, and that's fine. It needs to be okay. That just means that next December, I will hopefully have some pre-planned, pre-filmed things to show you guys to make it a bit more easier for me going into the very stressful December weeks. But let's not talk about December yet. We have a whole new year in front of us. And of course, I want to talk about goals and decisions I made going forward with my channel. And let's start with the one obvious thing, my reading goal. Looking back a couple of years, I noticed that I have read less than in previous years. That is because I worked for myself for a very long time. I was self-employed, and then a couple of years back I went from working 100% self-employed to only 50% self-employed, and I worked in retail, like I said, in a bookstore. And so of course that changed the way that I read, the amount of energy I have to put into reading, and also because, I guess, because of YouTube, because this takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of planning. So that of course also took away time that I would have normally been reading. That being said, I still read 160 books last year. For a couple of years, my reading goal has been 120 books. 10 books per month I think is doable. I have months that I read a bit better. I have some that are worse, and so I think 120 is still a goal that I want to achieve. Usually it was around mid-year that I achieved that goal, and then I kind of dwindled down in reading, also because of the pre-Christmas season. So I never really reached the goal 200, which is kind of sad. I kind of wanted to have that goal, but it's just not feasible at the moment. So I think 120 with a reach goal of like maybe 170, that is my sweet spot. And with every year you kind of tell yourself, go a little bit slower, just enjoy the reading that you're doing, DNF more, and try to just really read the books that you want to read, maybe even bigger books. And so with all of these things, that kind of dwindles down the amount of books that you read during the years. And that is to say, if you read 30 books, if you read 300 books, it's all fine, it's all reading. We all just want to have fun, and I want to have fun bringing my content and my kind of reading to you guys. That brings me to the next thing. I want to thank all of you for being here. It is still baffling to me that anybody was gonna watch my videos, and there are more than 330 of you as of now. On the last day of the last year, another one of you joined, so I'm at 338 followers right now. I did not think that was gonna happen last year. I put down some goals in the beginning of 2024. At that time I had 30 followers, and I had a goal of reaching 100 followers at the end of 2024. So to have more than 300 of you is so inspiring and so amazing, and I want to say thank you, and I hope to give you all of the content that you want and need. And if you have any suggestions, what you want to see, what you love from my current content, what you might want to see going forward, feel free to leave any suggestions and comments down below. I want to put out a number, but I don't want to be mad at myself if I don't reach it. So I'm going to put 800 as my goal for the end of the year. I feel like that's feasible. My reach goal would be, of course, 1,000. That would be amazing. But again, all of those are numbers that can change and will probably change throughout the year, but that's kind of where my head is at right now. So what are my goals for this channel? Consistency. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to be a bit more organized in what kind of videos and how many videos I put out. And I'm hoping to bring you at least 3 videos per month with 2 of them not being any TBRs. So hopefully I can do sit-down videos and vlogs and such, so that you have more than just me being like, this is a book that I want to read somehow, somewhere, and then I don't read it. That being said, there will be some changes for my TBR videos. I think I'm gonna still do monthly TBRs going forward, but I am gonna change the way that I use my TBR game. Right now I'm planning to do the TBR game board of just beat that TBR for 2 months, so that I have enough time to actually get to the books and not feel overwhelmed by it, because I have so many other plans that I want to do going forward, and I want both of these things, so the board game and my plans shouldn't feel like they're in competition to each other. So my focus in 2025 is to read my physical TBR. I'm not going to say a number because I don't have a number. There are so many books in my home. Some of them are on my priority genre shelves, and then there is another whole room with books that I'm planning on unhauling, but I can't quite give them away yet. And going through all of them might be a challenge. So I'm not going to be like, I want to go towards 0. I just want to be more aware of the books that I pick up and not get confused or sidetracked by the new best thing, the new hype thing or anything. So I want to be very like conscientious about what I pick up. So physical TBR is a focus, especially the haul that I did from last year. There are still so many books from last year that I hauled that I still want to get to, so I want to keep them in the forefront and I want to pick those up. So there is a lot of things that I can read. Hopefully I feel the need and the want to read them as well. But I also want to go way back, way back, and read some books that have been on my shelves for years, sometimes decades. You heard right. I have books on my shelves, especially on the one that I'd mentioned before in the other room. Books that have been on my shelves for decades. They have moved with me. They have been here through thick and thin, and I kind of feel attached to them. I don't want to give them away even though I haven't read them for 20 years. So that brings me to another theme of the year, another focus, and that is new series. Meaning not book series, also that, but actually series that I want to do here on my channel. I felt like last year I tried to do vlogs for different readathons or for different themes, but they were all just one-hit wonders basically, and then I just tried to find new things to put in a vlog, or like new themes and new ideas. And thanks to other booktubers, I kind of got the idea of doing a series on my channel, so that every few months I can go back to that series and continue it, and you guys can kind of see the red thread throughout the year. I especially want to shout out Gavin from Gavin Reads It All and Kayla from Books and Lala. Of course you probably know them, because I love their content and I love how they bring these series throughout the year, and I'm always excited if they bring back a favorite of mine. So that's kind of where I'm going with these. So one of my ideas is older veterans on my shelves. Like I said, decades has gone by and I haven't read a book, and now it's kind of the idea of, is it even still good? Do I still want to read it? Has my reading taste changed since I picked it up? Probably yes. And also, has the writing changed since I picked it up? Is the genre evolved? Or is it something that would fit perfectly on the new release shelf? But for the last year, I kind of felt bad about picking up older titles because I wasn't sure if people were interested. And now I kind of think I have an idea how to fix that feeling. I might be wrong. Maybe some people would love to see more older titles, but I have to go with what the majority wants, and I'm guessing that's new releases. So my idea is to pick a veteran and pick a new release that seems similar in certain ways and compare them. I have an example here for you just so you can kind of understand where I'm going with this. I'm hoping to finish this one in January, so you can look forward to that. And I also have other pairings already in mind for the coming months. I had this idea a couple of months ago and I actually started with both of these books already, and then I had to put that idea and continue with other content. So I decided to just wait for it and pick it up now that it's a new year, a new series, so that works perfectly. So as an example, I picked A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen and Sweet Black Waves by Christina Perez. Now, this isn't the book that has been on my shelves for 2 decades, obviously, but it's been quite a while since it found a place on my shelves, and every time I look at it, I'm like, ooh, I'm intrigued. It's a retelling of Tristan and Isolde. It has this Celtic kind of theme to it, and then last year this arrived. Fate Inked in Blood is also like northern inspired folklore retelling. Both of these have magic, both of these have strong protagonists. I kind of saw a similar enemies to lovers kind of vibe, so I go into more details on why I picked these two in that vlog, but just for you to have like an inkling of what I'm going for in this series. And like I said, there are some books that's going to be very difficult because they have been out for so long to find a perfect fit, but I already have some in mind. Another thing is series. I want to binge series, and of course continuing and finishing series is a goal all year, every year, but I want to especially take my focus and put it on duologies, because there are so many that I started this year and I want to finish them. Some of them I have on my TBR already, some the sequel is coming out this year and I want to keep my attention on it. But there are of course series that have been on my shelf so forever. I'm the kind of person who has to reread the first books in order to continue when the new release comes, because I can't remember anything, and I also kind of want to get back to the characters, get the feeling again, and I kind of feel like if I go in cold turkey after like a year or two, I'm not with the characters as much anymore. So yeah, a lot of rereading, and so some of the series kind of get pushed back and pushed back because I don't have the time to reread. That means there are some series on my shelves that I think are favorites of mine and I never actually finished them. I keep saying, oh, I love those series, I love that author, I love their writing style, I love the whole plot, and I never really got to the end of it. Oopsie. So I feel like my most shameful admission is that I've never finished Throne of Glass. I love Throne of Glass. I reached, I think, book 5 and then I never continued. So there are still some chunky books up there that I still need to read. Now, I reread the first 2 multiple times, so I know what they're about, and the prequel. And because there is kind of like a shift in writing style and theme and plot, I feel like it's okay if I start with Heir of Fire and then going forward reread and then read the rest of the series. That is kind of one of my ideas for the coming year. I need to finish that series. Another example is Amber in the Ashes. I read the sequel to that and then never picked up the following books. I was kind of mad at the end of the second book, so I was kind of hesitant to pick up the next book in the series, and now I kind of want to read it because Sabatahir brought out another book now, and I kind of want to stay like in touch with all of that because I loved those books so much. So come on, go ahead and read the books, B. Like, what is happening? But right now there is a more pressing series that I need to catch up with because it's not finished yet, so it's okay for me to catch up and not finish it because it's not finished, and that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I read the first 2 of the original work and I have the rest of the series that's out until now as the old version, and then the author decided that she needed to rewrite all of it, so we need to buy the new editions and read them again because she changed so much. I was kind of annoyed by it because I feel like you already had a book, continue with the series as is. That's your job as an author to make it work, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. I don't really have heard a lot of people talk about the changes, if they like it or not. I will decide on my own. This is the rewritten and the preferred version of the author that she's gonna base her latest or the upcoming books of the series on, so you can't just not read these if you want to finish the series. So this is the first that I want to get into. I'm gonna binge all of these until the new one comes out at the end of February. And that is a lot, I know. So I have basically 2 weeks to read one of these tomes and then continue on with the next one and the next one until I think February 27 is when the next book is coming out. It is a lot, and I kind of want to vlog my experience. Let me know down in the comments if you would like to see these kind of videos as a spoiler version, or if you just want to see my reading experience but not get too much into the spoiler territory, or if you want both, that you have like a spoiler warning and then you can skip ahead if you don't want to know. Let me know. I'm very excited. I really enjoyed this series, but I don't want to get more into the plot of this. You will see that in the vlog. Wish me luck. So those are some of the videos that I plan to do in the coming year. So the kind of series that I kind of want to keep doing throughout the months. And of course there will be original standalone videos throughout these, so it's not just going to be series after series. Again, I don't want to just put a number on it, but all in all, I kind of want to have 40 plus videos after the next year is done. So last year I started at the end of January and I put out 32 videos, and I kind of want to top that because I'm kind of doing more, so hopefully that works out. It might help that I kind of want to do a Monday mayhem video where I just talk 5 minutes about the books that I've read the previous week and the plans that I have going forward. So every Monday you kind of get an update where I am reading wise, because I am reading a lot of like mood reads. Also probably I'm gonna get distracted very easily, not gonna lie. And I noticed that I have a lot of things that I started over the year that I never mentioned anywhere because they're not on my TBR, they're not on in my wrap-ups if I do wrap-ups, and so they never get mentioned. And sometimes I just put them down and forget about them. So maybe if I have them in these kind of mayhem videos, then you guys at least see that I read them or started them, and I can reflect on them later on in the year maybe. That being said, what do I want to read during the next year? What do I want to participate in? There are some read-alongs that I'm hoping to get into. Of course, January is a big start for these things. The first read-along that I want to do is the catch-up book club from Becca and the Books, and the first book that we're reading is Malice. This is the first in the Faith and the Fallen series. I never read anything by John Gwynne. I have some books of his on my TBR, and I feel like this is an older series. If I don't get to it with this read-along, I'm never gonna really pick it up. Can't wait to get into this with everybody else and hopefully stay on track with them. I always try with these catch-up book club books. I read maybe the first and then I kind of dwindle off and read other things. So hopefully, wish me luck, I'm gonna stay with this one. Amy from A Star Reads has another read-along starting in January, and that is for Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. I am reading his new release right now and have the sequels arc already, but there is this book that everybody keeps shouting at me to read because it's supposed to be very good. I don't know too much about the plot. I don't care. I'm gonna go into it, and hopefully again having like a deadline for the live show will help me to actually stay on point with this one. Then we have the Middle Earth Along that is hosted by Erin over on Booked and Busy, and she and other hosts are gonna read the whole Middle Earth saga, starting with The Hobbit and then going into Lord of the Rings. And I already read all of those books, but I'm up for a reread. I actually reread Lord of the Rings last year, January, and I loved them so much, so I'm not too mad if I have to go back now. The Hobbit has been a couple of years since I read that one, so we're starting in January with The Hobbit, and I can't wait. And then a kind of different read-along, which is going to be very fun to actually witness, is the read-along that is happening over on the side of the podcast Not Reading for Content. The creators are Danny and Leandra, and I'm gonna try to keep up with their reads, and they're gonna split up the book into 3 parts, and every Friday they kind of have a discussion about that part of the book, and you can participate in the comments, and I kind of want to do that. And January's book is The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Wagoner. This would work out perfectly again for the 2024 haul that I mentioned earlier, because I bought this last year, didn't get around in it in spooky season, and so I'm glad I don't have to wait until next October for this to be relevant again. So yay, and also it's a bit shorter, not as chunky as some of the other read-along books, so happy to start this one in January. So those are the read-alongs as of now that I'm participating in or trying to. But now let's talk about readathons. Of course, I have a lot of readathons that I want to participate in. Monthly ones, week-long ones, maybe weekend-long ones. There are so many, and in my January TBR, I'm going to mention some of them. But for now, I want to talk about the year-long ones, because there are 3 at the moment that I want to take part in. There's of course the Buzzwordathon that is again Kayla's from Books and Lalas. The last couple of years I only tried to do it that I looked back on what I read and then kind of put the fitting pieces together, but I did manage to actually read all the buzzwords over the year. This year I'm gonna try to do a vlog every month for the correlating to buzzword and buzz cover challenge that she has put out. I'm gonna link of course, everybody that I mentioned before and will mention after this down below in the description bar if you want to check them out. Please do. There is so much fun to be had in this community, and I'm so glad and so thankful that I'm part of it. So every month there is a buzzword and a buzz cover, like something that is very like hyped right now on covers, that Kayla put together for the whole year. And for example, for January it's gonna be a buzzword of lies and truth, and the cover challenge is to find a pattern on a book. I'm gonna try to vlog for every month. Hopefully that works out. And then I'm gonna try to do the ABC challenge. I'm not sure if there is someone that I can credit for that. If there is, please mention it down below, because I do want to give credit where credit is due. But I've seen other people do it where they read a book for every letter in the alphabet. And last year I read a book for every letter except for Q, X, and Z. And this year I want to top that and get all of them read. Plus, I want to do it in order. So I don't want to look back and see like, yeah, I read lots of A's, lots of B's, whatever. I want to read them in order, and I want to vlog about it. So the first vlog is going to have a couple of books in it until like A to D, and then going further into the alphabet in later months, again making this a series for me. I already picked the first book that I want to read for this, and I picked this little novella from Veronica Roth. This is my latest haul, and this also works again for my plan to read all of my 2024 haul. It's short, it's sweet. I already know what I'm going to read for B. It's going to be a very interesting new release coming this month, and you will all see my reactions to these. Some of them a little bit older, some of them new releases, but that is another idea for the upcoming year. And then we have the year in Aldia that is done and hosted by G from Book Roast. As of now, she hasn't announced it yet, so once we get our prompts for that, there is another book that I kind of want to fit into the month. I'm not sure if that's going to happen every month or maybe vlog the whole year and then put it out in December. That is something that I need to decide once I get the prompts, but that's another thing that I kind of want to focus on this year. There's one last thing that I want to mention right now, and another video idea that I had for every month. Hopefully I can stay on top of that as well, and this is where you guys come in. And you guys helped me already, because yesterday I asked you guys to help me choose between 4 books. 2 were older releases, 2 were 2024 releases, and I was not surprised about the winner. I was surprised about the runner-ups. But the book that won was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. I kind of knew that everybody loved this and everybody was shouting at me to read it anyway, so I kind of knew going into it that this was probably going to be the winner. But what you guys didn't know is that I plan to do a dedicated reading vlog for the book that you guys chose for me. So going forward, if I ask you to pick a book, you can be sure that it's probably going to end up in a dedicated reading vlog just for you guys. So that's another thing that I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to be more interactive with you guys, with the community. I loved, for example, that Leandra from Leandra, the TBR0, asked me to participate in the TBR-athon this year. It is happening now in January. You guys can still join. It is a readathon where you're supposed to just get things done and get your TBR down a bit, however you want to achieve that. And she asked me to give a prompt for the TBR bingo. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I can be part of that, and there will be another video coming up hopefully this weekend where I give you recommendations for all of the bingo board. Keep your eye out for that. And that's it for now for my 2025 goals. Sitting down, I didn't think I would talk this much, but thank you for being here. Let me know down in the comments what are your plans for the coming year, and if you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot of content. Hopefully you will enjoy it as much as me making it, and I hope for all of us that 2025 will be an amazing year, reading wise but also life wise. Until the next time, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!